From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now at 4:30, the Indiana National Guard is beginning their mission to help long-term care facilities battle COVID-19, how their efforts are working to protect the most vulnerable. It's the last day for early voting in Indiana, what you need to know to cast your ballot today or on Election Day. And voters getting mixed messages about whether or not they can change how they vote. WRTV investigates what you can do if you no longer want to vote absentee. It is again 4:30 here, the start of a brand new work week. I'm Lauren Casey, joined by Todd Clausen here in the studio. Todd, you're saying you're a little sleepy this morning, but we have technically, it's like an hour later, I guess you could say. We got an extra hour of sleep yesterday.
I know, we did get an extra hour of sleep,
Still
but I was up
early.
way past my bedtime on Saturday, filling in for Kyle in the evening hours.
That'll do it.
But as we start off here this Monday morning, we are on the cold side. In fact, this is the coldest morning we have seen so far this fall season. You have to go back to spring to find temperatures this chilly across central Indiana. 26 in Indianapolis, 25 in Bloomington. Bundle up in Peru, you're at 24 degrees. Let me throw on the wind chill values for you. And thankfully, the wind has really subsided from where it was yesterday afternoon, but still a wind chill of only 15 in Peru. 19 is what it feels like in Indy as well as Lafayette. So again, as the kids head off to the bus stop, definitely need to bundle up. Few fair weather clouds out there. That is just about it. Otherwise, it is going to be a sun-filled day for us. Lake effect snows off towards the east. Obviously, that will not impact us. We'll be in the 20s here through about 8, 9 o'clock, and then we'll see temperatures moderate into the mid-40s with plenty of sunshine throughout the entire day. Election day tomorrow starts a warm-up. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's get a look at traffic right now. We're taking out to Hancock County, looking at I-70. This is a little bit east of Mount Comfort Road, and we do have a left lane closure for construction in this area. Looks like it's not too busy, though, at this hour, so that is good news. We'll continue to keep a close eye out for any delays in this spot or in any other parts around central Indiana throughout the morning, and of course we'll keep you updated. Let's go to the latest now on the spread of COVID-19 here in the state of Indiana. The state seeing nearly 6,000 new cases reported over the weekend. The state health department reports more than 2,700 new cases Sunday and 3,200 on Saturday. Indiana has recorded more than 182,000 total cases since the pandemic began. The weekend did show a decrease in the daily number of confirmed deaths. 28 deaths confirmed Sunday, 26 Saturday, October, marking one of the deadliest months during the pandemic, accounting for more than double the deaths reported in September. This morning, the Indiana National Guard soldiers will be sent to long-term care facilities across the state to help those who are struggling with COVID-19. More than 400 soldiers have been trained for this assignment. While at Camp Atterbury, they learned about testing, infection control, procedures, visitation protocol, and more. Nursing home residents make up nearly 60% of Indiana's COVID deaths. Indiana National Guard members will start today in 133 long-term care facilities. Eventually, they'll plan to expand efforts to all of the state's nursing homes. Our own Kelsey Anderson will have more on their assignment coming up in the next half hour. Well, today is your last chance to vote early before Election Day tomorrow. To make sure you plan ahead, because the only open locations in Marion County has been the clerk's office at the City County building. Sunday was the last day for early voting at 6 satellite locations across the county. That includes Lucas Oil Stadium. Stadium was added this weekend to help cut down on the long lines and wait times. According to the clerk's office, 7,497 people voted there. A total of 211,262 people have voted early in Marion County, and that's compared to just over 67,000 in 2016.
Yes, it's worth the wait. Yes, we're trying to let our voice be heard. Yes, it's worth the wait.
Was this the day that you just made a plan and you decided you were going to get out and make sure no matter how long it takes?
Yes, I made that decision.
So if you plan to vote today, the City County building again is only open from 8 a.m. until noon. Absentee ballots must be turned in by noon on Tuesday to the Marion County Election Board in order to be counted here. If you need a ride to the polls on Election Day, there are plenty of ways to get a free ride. Indigo is offering free rides, and Pacers Bike Share will be free as well. The Bike Share rides will be free for the first hour of use on Tuesday. Indianapolis Cultural Trail, Inc., which operates the Pacers Bike Share, says they are doing it to give people a free and fun way to get to their polling location. There are over 50 stations located around downtown and in surrounding neighborhoods. You can find them by downloading the Bicycle app. Any trip over 60 minutes will be 15 cents per minute. If you need to get a car to get to your voting center, Hertz is willing to rent you one for free. They're kicking off their Drive the Vote program today. If you rent a vehicle today for 2 or more days, you'll get 1 day at no cost. WRTV Investigates has learned that voters in some counties are being told they cannot change how they vote if they've already requested an absentee ballot. Charlotte Hess of Bloomington applied for an absentee ballot because she's over the age of 65, but she's concerned about the lag times involving mail-in votes, so she decided to vote early in person instead. However, when Charlotte called the Monroe County Election Office, they told her she could not change her mind. At least 2 nonpartisan groups agree Indiana's election statute allows you to vote early in person if you've previously requested to vote by mail.
You should be able to simply hand your absentee ballot over to the polling place inspector at the early voting location. Tell them you have changed your mind. They will take that ballot from you and allow you to vote in person. We don't need to make voters jump through multiple hoops to exercise their constitutional right to vote.
The Indiana Election Division and Secretary of State's office interpret the statute differently. They say a voter can vote in person if their original absentee ballot is, quote, lost, spoiled, or defective. Also, on Election Day itself, you can surrender your absentee ballot and vote in person. If you want to hand deliver your absentee ballot to your county, just remember it is due by noon tomorrow. If you have problems voting, the number for the Election Protection Hotline is 866-OUR-VOTE. Now, the campaign trail is coming to a close with only 1 day left. Both President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden are still making their case to voters, and their last efforts will be in the same state. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
With the race to the White House approaching the finish line,
it's time for Donald Trump to pack his bags and go home.
President Trump and Joe Biden laser focused on critical battleground states.
We are going to win the state of Michigan again.
Trump holding 5 large rallies across 5 states on Sunday, playing defense in states he won in 2016.
And we're going to win 4 more years in the White House.
In Iowa, the latest Des Moines Register poll shows he has a 7-point lead over Joe Biden. Biden leading by the same margin in Pennsylvania, according to the latest ABC News Washington Post poll, a state both candidates need to win the White House.
President Trump is terrified of what will happen in Pennsylvania. If you have your say, he doesn't stand a chance.
Biden slamming the president's handling of the coronavirus.
Imagine where we'd be if this president just wore a mask instead of mocked it from the beginning.
It's a choice between a deadly Biden lockdown. He wants to lock down. We're never locking down.
Meanwhile, Trump raising eyebrows with this comment.
We should know the result of the election on November 3rd. That's the way it's been.
While news outlets project a winner early, vote tallies have never been final on election night. In fact, this year, with record mail-in ballots already cast, the final results could take a while to certify.
And it's more important that we get a count that is accurate than a count that is fast.
In anticipation of protests on election night, federal law enforcement authorities are telling ABC News there are plans to add more non-scalable fencing around the White House. Area businesses are also boarding up. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
And a reminder, WRTV has everything you need to know to be prepared on Election Day. Just go to our Election 2020 digital section on our website. There you'll find who's on your ballot, where you can vote, and any other questions you might have this election season. Again, that's all at WRTV.com/election2020. A multi-million-dollar settlement has been reached over some defective refrigerators. Coming up, how you can get a part of the money if you own one of these LGs. And a local company is offering a new program to address a shortage in EMTs. We'll take an inside look at their training and how they're helping to hire Hoosiers. Todd.
And Lauren, a big chill has settled into much of the Midwest as most of us are waking to temperatures in the 20s here across central Indiana. And you see all the 30s surrounding us. Despite the really cold start to the work week, the week is going to end up on the mild side by the time we get to Thursday and Friday. We'll talk all about it coming up in your 7-day planning forecast when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. It is 4:42. An investigation is underway after an officer-involved shooting in Seymour. This happened at 8:30 last night near the intersection of Tipton Street and Burkhart Boulevard. The Seymour Police Department posted on Facebook saying no police officers were hurt and that there's not a threat to the public at this time. So far, officials have not released any new information about the incident. We'll continue to keep you updated, though, as we learn more. Developing this morning, the Marion County Coroner's Office is working to identify a man found in the White River Sunday afternoon. Investigators say someone called dispatch around 12:45 to report a body they saw in the water. Emergency crews from several local agencies then responded to the scene in the 1200 block of West Washington Street that's near the Indianapolis Zoo. Indiana conservation officers are now handling this investigation. Anyone with any information is asked to call the Marion County Coroner's Office. That number is 317-327-4744. So what kind of refrigerator do you have in your kitchen? Appliance maker LG has agreed to settle a multi-million-dollar class action lawsuit after finding defects with a refrigerator. Reporter Jackie Calloway explains how you may be eligible for some of that money.
According to a class action lawsuit, hundreds of consumers reported problems with dozens of models of LG refrigerators made between 2014 and 2017.
Not even 6 months into having it, all of a sudden I didn't have ice. And then 2 days later, my whole freezer is defrosted.
Dolores Falco, a mother of 3 and one of the plaintiffs, said her LG fridge broke down 15 times between 2016 and 2020. You've lost how much?
Probably a good $2,000, maybe $2,500 worth of food.
Attorneys who filed the suit say they documented hundreds of similar complaints.
And after they had bought this rather expensive LG refrigerator, that the refrigerator would just completely stop cooling.
Plaintiff's attorney Amy Parks says the settlement affects the owners of dozens of models, and more than 1.5 million people may be eligible to file a claim. Owners may be entitled to 100% of the money spent on labor and parts, up to $1,000 for delayed repairs, and as much as $3,500 for lost food and or property damage.
And I haven't had ice since May.
We reached out to LG but have not heard back. According to the lawsuit, the company denied any wrongdoing but agreed to settle in the interest of the consumers and to avoid protracted litigation. Now, the deadline to file a claim is January 11th, and payouts are expected to come later in 2021.
Well, that was Jackie Calloway reporting there. Today, the Indianapolis Indians and Gleaners Food Bank are teaming up to distribute food to those in need. It's part of Gleaners and the Women, Infants, and Children's programs No One Runs on Empty campaign. This distribution and drive-through is asking families to enter the parking lot using the West Street entrance. Workers will then deliver boxed goods to the cars. This event runs from 1 to 4 this afternoon. Good news for the Colts after their big win Sunday. They are tied for the first in the AFC South. Colts beat the Detroit Lions 41-21 yesterday afternoon. They are now 5-2 along with the Tennessee Titans, who lost to the Bengals Sunday. The Colts and the Titans will face each other in 2 weeks in Tennessee. It is 4:46 on our Monday, a chilly start. Todd, what can people expect as they head out the door?
You know, you just really need to bundle up. But thankfully, it's nice and quiet out there. Yesterday, we had those really windy conditions. The wind has really subsided across the area, but it was that cold front that came through with all the wind that has ushered in the coldest air we have seen since the beginning of the year back in spring. 26 degrees right now. That is the current temperature out there, but it feels like 19 degrees, and that's just with a wind of 6 miles per hour. Can you imagine we had temperatures like this yesterday morning with those wind gusts up to 30 to 40 miles per hour? We would have had wind gusts or wind temperatures for real feel numbers in the teens, but that's not where we are here this morning. We're sitting at 27 in Martinsville. Bloomington, you're at 25. 26 is the current temperature right now in the Richmond area. 25 in Lafayette. This is what it really feels like, and we do have a few teens out there as far as the wind chill values. On some of these readings, the wind chill doesn't really kick in until a certain hour, so it's probably even a little bit colder in Martinsville as well as Bloomington. Those are just the actual temperatures. 19 right now in Indy as well as Lafayette. 15 is what it feels like up in the Peru area. So hat and gloves required for the kids at the bus stop here this morning. There's no doubt about that. What you don't need is the umbrella. It's going to be a nice sun-filled day for us from start to finish. And honestly, this entire week is going to be very quiet weather-wise for us. 26 degrees here still at 7 a.m., 28 at 8 a.m. and then we'll finally get above freezing, it looks like, as we head into the 10 o'clock hour. Your noontime temperatures at 42, and then eventually highs today will only be in the upper 40s. That's about 10 degrees below normal for this time of year. But today, not only is the morning hours the coldest that we'll see, the afternoon high temperature is the coldest that we'll see all week for the day today, as a nice warming trend heads our way. Pretty good lake effect snows here through Pennsylvania and New York State, and just in case your travels take you in that direction here. This evening, sunset, you noticed the change last night with the sun coming down a lot earlier. 5:41 is a sunset this evening. Temperatures will be in the 40s under a mainly clear sky. Tomorrow you wake up to temperatures that will be in the 30s across the area. So it's a warmer start tomorrow, and it's going to be a warmer finish for us for our election day. No weather-related issues whatsoever for our election day forecast. So if you do have to stand in line, if you're going in the morning hours, it'll be a little bit chilly to vote. But once we get into the afternoon hours, really, really pleasant with high temperatures that'll be topping off in the low 60s. So thankfully, this election day, we don't have to worry about any precipitation. 66 on Wednesday, partly cloudy on Thursday. Thursday will feature a little more in the way of cloud cover, but look at those temperatures by the end of the week with plenty of sunshine. Your weekend forecast looks terrific, Lauren, with high temperatures all the way back up into the low 70s.
All right, Todd, that looks pretty good. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. This is over on the west side at I-465 and I-70. You can see traffic here is very quiet. Everything's moving along up to speed. No delays to slow you down. It is 4:49. If you're looking for a new job or looking to make a career change, Hiring Hoosiers is connecting you to new opportunities. Careers in emergency medicine are being launched inside of a former industrial building on the east side of Indianapolis. Seals Ambulance Services is headquartered on Roosevelt Avenue near Mass Ave and Rural Street. Most of the company's work involves transferring hospital patients home or to other medical facilities. But being an emergency medical technician can be an emotional job, making it difficult for the industry to find workers.
You see a lot of tough stuff, so you got to be able to tolerate seeing that and being able to help others, because you see people at their worst times.
19-year-old Anthony Wheat is part of a SEALS training program that's helping address the shortage. Applicants can become an EMT in 8 weeks while getting paid to learn.
We pay for the tuition, testing fees, and any course materials. They are also considered a full-time employee of the company. They are given what's called a training wage, and they are also eligible for full-time benefits.
Well, when training is over, students must take state and national exams. Starting pay for EMTs is about $30,000 per year plus overtime, and the position is often a stepping stone into other careers in healthcare. For more information, go to hiringhoosiers.com. Cruise lines are cleared to set sail again. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention gave cruise ships the go-ahead starting Sunday if they meet certain requirements. It doesn't mean passengers will be allowed on board, however. According to the guidelines, cruise operators will have to conduct simulated voyages and trial runs. Now, the participants will have to agree to COVID-19 testing, and operations will have to be under CDC oversight. After the trial runs, operators can apply for the agency's new COVID sailing certificate. And McDonald's favorite is returning to the menu, the Mcrib. The pork patty smothered in barbecue sauce will be available starting today for a limited time. It's the first time it's being offered nationally since 2012. McDonald's usually offers it regionally at limited locations, but this time around, more than 14,000 U.S. restaurants will get it. Here's a fun fact. You can get the Mcrib year-round in Germany. Very interesting. Well, a nonprofit is making sure that voters are fed on Election Day. Just after the break, how they're partnering with local restaurants to offer meals at the polls for free. It is 4:51. Stick around. We'll be right back. So World Central Kitchen is partnering up with local restaurants to make sure that you aren't hungry while you're waiting in line at the polls tomorrow. They're serving free meals near voting sites as part of an initiative called Chefs for the Polls. The group is sharing meals with anyone, no questions asked. It's in more than 200 cities, and that includes right here in Indianapolis. World Central Kitchen says using the power of food, they aim to, quote, make Election Day one of community and hope, end quote. And Todd, what's it looking like out there for Election Day and today as people people might be waiting in lines.
You know, Election Day is going to be absolutely terrific. If you're out there in line in the afternoon, it'll be sunny and temperatures will be in the low 60s. Today, if you're casting some early votes down at the City County building, you will be in good shape, 49 degrees. It'll be sunny. You'll just need to bundle up a little bit. But look at the temperatures as we progress throughout the week. It's a dry week for us. No rain in the forecast. And by the time we get to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're looking at high temperatures that'll be all the way up into the upper 60s and into the low 70s. Our average high this time of year is 59, so we're going from about 10 degrees below normal today. And then by the end of the week, we're looking at temperatures that'll be about 10 degrees, maybe even 12 degrees above normal by Saturday and Sunday. The time now is 4:56. Raphael joins Lauren and I coming up in just a couple of minutes here on Good Morning Indiana. Stay with us. We're back in just a few.